All right. This is the first episode of what we are calling the Creamsicle Chronicles podcast.
Yes,
Hope you all are
sir.
having a great night. I am JT Olson, one of your hosts. With me, the man of the people, Florida's favorite son, is Garrett Ballard.
How's it
Garrett,
going,
how you
JT?
doing?
I am so excited to get this started. I've been wanting to cover this team in just some capacity for the longest time. So this is a long time in the making, and I'm so stoked to get this going with you.
Yeah, we've talked about kind of working together a couple of times, and finally
Yeah,
the stars aligned the right way that we can finally get something off the ground here. So I'm really excited for it.
yeah, man, me too. It's just like this team going through a best stretch of football that it has in my lifetime. Just about. So I've been enjoying watching it, covering it, just analyzing all they're doing, and I'm happy we can finally work together, get some opinions out for the people to tear into, I guess.
Al, and on that note, let's jump right into it. It's been a
Yes,
super
sir.
exciting week, and I certainly don't want to bury the lead with our, kind of intro podcast shenanigans. So, the big news everyone's talking about: Buccaneers bringing back throwback creamsicle jerseys 2023. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, greatest news all week in my opinion. There's nothing better at all.
Oh, yes. Definitely, it's going to be great. I wish it was this year because I really want to see Brady in that jersey.
Oh my
That's the
gosh,
dream.
that is the dream. Speaking of Brady, though, he did come back.
I know. That's the second best thing to happen this week.
It's crazy. I'm just like, I mean, first thoughts. What were you thinking when you saw it? Like, what was going through your mind?
Really surprised more than anything because I really thought when he said he was going to be done, he'd be done. And
Yeah,
there's always that whisper and that kind of feel like, okay, maybe he was kind of pressured into retirement, whether the media reporting he retired before he actually did, the family pressures at home. It never felt like he definitively said, I'm ready to be done. But at the same time, he said he was done. So I just took him at his word. So
yeah.
I was I was full Bucks obituary mode before that. I was talking about the rebuild, talking about reopening the Super Bowl window in 2023, 2024-ish. And just like that, the skies have cleared. Happy days are here again.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I was like kind of in the same boat as you. I was like super surprised, but I thought he would make a return. I just didn't think it'd be this year. Like I thought he would have taken a year off and then been like, man, I hate not playing football. I'll come back. But I'm so happy it was this year because the QB situation was looking bleak. Like I know a lot of people, a lot of Bucks fans are also Florida fans. I don't know if you can see, but that is a Florida Gator flag right there. I'm a Florida fan myself. I go to the school. Kyle Trask is not it. He's not the answer, Bucks fans. I hate to tell you,
Not it never was.
but don't got to worry about it now. Tom Brady's back. I'm sure we'll see Kyle Trask hit the field sometime after Brady leaves, and um, we can see what he's got. I'm not opposed to it after having him sit for a while behind Tom Brady, but I'm not. My expectations are low. But again, Brady's back. Best news probably just since we won the Super Bowl for the Bucks. To be honest with you, so I'm stoked again.
Yeah. And the best part about it, as if the greatest quarterback in NFL history wasn't the best part in itself,
Mm.
is all the dominoes that are coming with it, with the Ryan Jensen re-signing and Carlton Davis shockingly coming back. Like
Yeah, that was insane.
I had not no expectation of that at all.
I was like, we could probably get one, and I was expecting it to be Davis and Jensen goes. But when
Mhm.
I saw Jensen come back, I was like, okay. And then I saw Davis, and I was like, man, that's the Brady effect if I've ever seen it. Like,
It's gotta be.
yeah,
Because,
and,
I was in the same boat. If you get one of Jensen and or Davis to go with Godwin, it's a great offseason, no matter what else
yeah,
happens. And then we got Jensen. I'm like, okay, 13 mil. He's a little bit cheaper than what I'm expecting Davis to be. This is the guy we're going with. Got to protect Brady. Makes sense. And then Davis out of nowhere. You get him
literally.
all.
I was full, like you said, I was fully expecting Jensen and or Davis and Godwin, and then probably keep Whitehead at that point because you probably can. But then we see them both come back. Obviously, Whitehead's off to the Jets, which reports coming out saying that the Bucs didn't even offer him. So I don't know if that's them kind of saying we cannot afford you, or like we feel like we're better off without you. I feel like it'd probably be the can't really afford you right now, because I don't think just like from my sense of it, they want to keep as many guys from that Super Bowl team here as long as possible. But the money just didn't work out, especially after the Russell Gage signing. So
yeah, and the Shaq Mason trade taking on what is that, $16 million contract wise?
For over 2 years, I think so. Yeah, which I think like just kind of looking at how the offense was looking 2 weeks ago. No Brady, Kappa likely gone, Marpet retired, Jensen maybe probably gone, to getting Jensen back and then also getting Shaq Mason, really only having a hole at left guard. We even re-signed Stinney, who I personally thought was better than Kappa during that Super Bowl run when he had to come in for him when Kappa broke his leg. But you look at the right guard, you upgraded with Shaq Mason, and you're paying him less money than Alex Kappa is now making in Cincinnati. So that's like a no-brainer move for a fifth rounder.
That's unbelievable.
Nothing. I've never seen a team, if you think about it, the trades the Bucs make with their draft picks are recently. Jason Light, great.
He's been amazing with that.
Yeah, you got JPP in what, like 2018 for a third, I think.
I think that was a third.
Yeah, which is, I think, probably the highest pick that they've traded. Because other than that, you got JPP for a third, Gronk for a fourth. You traded up in the first to get Tristan Wirfs for a fifth. Was it a fifth?
It was a day three. It wasn't much. It might have been a
day three pick. Yeah, and then now you got Shaq Mason for a fifth. Like, that is incredible value to get players who are going to immediately impact your team at a very high level. Like, JPP came in, was the first 10-sack player since Simeon Rice for the Bucs. You got Gronk coming in. Obviously, Gronk's going to do Gronk things. And then if Shaq Mason continues his level of play, that's a top 5 right guard in the NFL for a fifth.
Garrett, how old were you when Simeon Rice had double-digit sacks for the Bucs? Like, how long was that gap?
I was younger than 10. It was a long time.
That was like a full lifetime for some people. Like, there are Bucs fans out there who have no idea who Simeon Rice is because it's been that long.
Oh yeah.
That's
crazy.
20 years ago now. Wow.
Insane.
But you touched on it. This offense, this whole team went from just as many questions to answers, and now it's all according to plan again.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we were like, Bucs fans were in just denial. They're like, oh, what can we trade for Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers? And Aaron Rodgers re-signs. Russell Wilson gets traded to the Broncos. Oh, yeah, Blaine Gabbert's been in this offense for a while. Like, you're talking yourselves into Blaine Gabbert. Like, the Super Bowl window's open, I promise. No, man. This is, if we didn't get Brady, it was over. It was over.
Yeah, we're just going to plug in Robert Hainsey and Stinney and a 5th-round pick this year, and we're going to roll with it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, just kind of like moving from the one, actually, before I do that, the Russell Gage signing, I think, is going to provide probably the most value out of like the outside guys that we've brought in, which are only a few, I guess. Shaq Mason is going to be great. I mean, I don't think he could have brought in a better right guard, someone that's worked with Brady, knows how he likes to operate, and then obviously keeping as much of the offensive line together as you can with Jensen. But in terms of getting a wide receiver 3 and potentially a wide receiver 2 in that early part of the season if Godwin's still recovering. We saw what happened with the passing attack when Godwin went down, and then after Antonio Brown was Antonio Brown. And it was not pretty. The depth at wide receiver, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, couldn't really get it done to the extent that I think the coaching staff was hoping for. And I think Russell Gage is a type of player who can impact the game similarly to Chris Godwin. A lot of in-breaking routes, bigger body receiver who can just make some spectacular catches. My favorite signing of the free agency period so far for us.
I think my favorite has been Carlton Davis. And
yeah.
I wrote early in the process that he was our most important free agent, with Tom Brady obviously not being a free agent, so he didn't fall into that category. Mm-hmm. But you look at the back end of that Bucs defense with even the linebackers. Levante David obviously has been our best player for a long time. He's turning, 32 this year?
I think so.
So if you lose your best corner, who is one of, he's in the conversation for a top 10 corner in the league. Yeah. He struggles with the shifty, fast guys like Tyreek Hill, even DJ Moore. But you match him up with a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, and he can shut that kind of player down. So to lose a guy like that with Sean Murphy-Bunting, who I love because of where he went to school, and Jamal Dean, who has flashes but never really put it together, you lose your best corner, and those are the guys you have left. That's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of segues into the next topic that I wanted to bring up, and that's what we believe the team needs are after this part of free agency. The biggest, obviously, there's still decisions to be made on Gronk and Leonard Fournette, and we'll address that when those come up. But for now, if you ask me, cornerback is our biggest, specifically nickel. I think, again, you said you love Sean Murphy-Bunting because of where he went to school. He's not the greatest nickel cornerback. It's replacement level play that we can probably address by either drafting a safety, a nickel safety, or a corner in this draft. So that's where I would personally look early on.
Yeah, and I know we're like-minded on that nickel safety kind of role and some players that might fit really well there. And we'll get more into that later on when we talk more draft. We get closer to that time. I know we're already doing the footwork there. But, yeah, Murphy-Bunting, love him. Those interceptions in the playoffs, I'll always remember.
Oh, incredible.
It's been rough. I just keep flashing back to that opening game versus Dallas, and they're just targeting him every time, and it's working every time, and there's no answer for it. And it's less than ideal.
Yeah.
So, and
definitely,
there are good corners in this draft. This is a strong corner draft.
Definitely.
So, if not the first round, the second round, there's going to be someone you can slot in there to start. It's going to be options.
Oh, for sure. And looking at the other holes on the team, it's really corner, guard, left guard, and then maybe tight end or running back. I don't really know. Those are lesser value positions, but I think it's really corner and right guard.
And you look at the guard position.
Or left guard.
Yeah, and Light's done such a good job of this throughout his time in Tampa. He really tiers position groups with a good veteran who's aging and a young guy to learn from him. We had Vita Vea with Ndamukong Suh and even Gerald McCoy there for a minute. We have Chris Godwin. He played with Mike Evans, and then a little bit Antonio Brown, but that wasn't really the blueprint. And we have now Robert Hainsey, who we drafted last year in the third round, who was, kind of a converted tight end for our guard from tackle, which the Bucs have always done in the past under Light. Learning from Kappa, learning from Marpet, learning from Jensen. In theory, he should step in and compete and hopefully win that job this offseason. That's his to lose if you're doing it by the blueprint.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with what you're saying. You can even see it. It's evident all across the offensive line. Wirfs, Smith, it's just everywhere. And then even last year with Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Shaq Barrett and JPP, who another topic, I think Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is going to explode this year. That guy in his snaps last year was better than JPP was in his snaps. And they still play JPP. Doesn't look like he's going to come back, at least so far. I haven't really heard anything about him. But I think Tryon-Shoyinka is going to have a big year this year. But, yeah, that's kind of how it looks. If they like Hainsey. One thing I do kind of question is if they were grooming him to play guard or take over for Jensen, expecting that they were going to lose Jensen. That's like my only question.
I would probably lean towards Jensen, but I know they do a lot of cross training, so I'm sure he was taking guard reps, a lot of center reps, giving him that flexibility.
Definitely. And then obviously it's going to come down to, I guess, just who's there for them in the draft if they don't make any other moves to address the offensive line this free agency period. I don't think I think the Bucs have done a really good job of just taking who they think is the best on their board. Like we saw it with Vita Vea. Everyone was like, Derwin James, great player. This Bucs defense is not what it is without Vita Vea in the middle of it. No doubt in my mind. He is the heart of that defense. If he can't push that center into the quarterback's lap like 75% of the snaps or more, this defense is not functioning nearly at the rate that it is. Then you got, obviously, the one time I feel like that could have been, I do think Wirfs was probably the highest ranked player on their board that year, but they were kind of shoehorned into taking a tackle that year, so I can't really say if that's the truth. But I think Light has cemented himself as one of the best general managers in football over the last over the last few years, and we should have nothing but trust in him this offseason going forward still.
Yeah, he's definitely turned it around from early on struggles. That
2016 draft was ugly.
And Hargraves, I got the logic, smart corner, playmaker, small, not super fast. I got the pick. I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year we took Roberto Aguayo. And I remember that because I was so high on Kevin Byard that year. He was like a top 20 player, my top rated safety. And when we traded up, I knew we were taking him. I knew it in my soul. And then here we picked a kicker in the second round. I'm like, all right, we're done here. This is over.
So bad. That was some dark times. Dark times there.
Yes, not forgotten.
That was bad. Oh man. But every year, I think every draft has gotten better and better for Jason Light. I think last year was a bit different because you didn't really have a need last year, right? I feel like obviously in hindsight, there are some positions that you could have been like, maybe should have drafted a guy there. But I don't think you can really fault them for taking depth where they took it. Like obviously you got Tryon Shianka is going to fill a need this year with JPP gone. Hainsey, depth offensive lineman, cool. Got a kick returner, albeit Darden hasn't been the best at it. He slips more than anyone I've seen on a football field. Who'd they take after him? Oh my gosh.
They took our linebackers, Britt.
That's right.
They got Grant Stewart at the Mr. Irrelevant.
Grant Stewart's been a fantastic special teams player. I'll give it to him. I see that guy, like it's easy to notice because his hair is flopping out of his helmet.
I was going to say, you knew he'd be a winner with that flow.
Oh yeah, but dude's like always the first one down the field, I feel like, as a gunner. And I'm like, hey, that's his role. He's got to own it, and he does. But I think the one pick that you can really look at and be like, maybe should have gone different position there, the Kyle Trask pick. But again, he's not playing yet. Don't really have to talk about him yet. But yeah, what else do we got?
Yeah, and as much as you and I both disliked that pick and we're not high on Kyle Trask, you understood the logic of it.
Oh yeah.
You have Tom Brady maybe one more year. You want a guy to transition from when he retires. Get that guy, a guy you're high on, even if we're not high on him. They were obviously very high on him.
That's another thing. Yeah,
So the thought process made sense, even if I think the pick was, I don't want to call it a wasted pick at this point because, we'll give him a chance.
We don't really know. Yeah, we don't really know. But
it's in my eyes, it's kind of a wasted pick.
yeah, mine too. But obviously, like we said, we can trust Jason Light. We can see how he does when he's on the field. We can disagree with it. We will. But until he steps on the field, we won't really know. But kind of moving on to our next topic, I think. the Bucks in the playoffs this year lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, the LA Rams. After all of this nonsense free agent moves, where do you think the Bucks stand in the NFC right now?
I'd have to put them right now on the day before St. Patrick's Day, firmly at third in the NFC. Behind the Rams, obviously, who are bringing most of their players back. The Packers are bringing back Aaron Rodgers. The Bucks are bringing most of the gang back, but right now there are still unanswered questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned the nickel position. We're not going to beat Cooper Kupp and the Rams if we can't get someone in the nickel.
No chance.
He does most of his damage out of the slot, and that's a big reason why they tear us up. We can't guard that man, not with who we have on the roster.
Yeah.
And then obviously we need to address the defensive line. We only have Vita Vea there right now, and as great as he is, another starter or two would be nice there.
Yeah.
But I think the Bucks are right in the thick of it. I think winning a playoff game is now more than a fair expectation, maybe even two, depending on how the bracket falls. But they have gone from probably a top 10 pick to one of the few contenders in the NFC, which is really very weak this year, it looks like.
Very. I think I do agree with you. I think right now I would tend to put the Bucks over the Packers, just because of the sole fact that they don't have a ton of cap space, and Devontae Adams said he's not going to play on the franchise tag.
Right, that's a killer.
Yeah, if they don't have Devontae Adams, they lost their second leading receiver, I think, in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's not there anymore. Their receiver core is looking pretty depleted, so I'll just put the Bucks over them. But yeah, Rams didn't lose too many people. I think it was Von Miller and Darius Williams were the two big ones.
Oh, could you believe that Von Miller contract?
Oh, no shot. That was crazy. I was like, how are you going to give him 6 years? They have to have an out after like 3.
Right. How old is Von Miller? Is he 32,
he's like
33?
30. I think he's like turning 33 before the season.
And they're giving him 6. He's going to be the next Tom Brady. He's going to play until he's 40. And
if an edge rusher plays plus 40, I will. Oh my gosh, that'd be insane. But yeah, like you said, we can't cover Cooper Kupp for any. I don't think any of our DBs could currently cover Cooper Kupp. That guy's a stud. Carlton Davis would obviously put up the best fight, but like you said, he tends to get a bit grabby against that kind of receiver. Yeah, I put them, like you said, the top 3 are really close, I think. There's not a whole lot separating them, and especially if the Bucks can answer those questions, fill those little holes that they got. But they're right in the thick of it. They're firmly entrenched in that Super Bowl contender talk still, and that's all because of one dude, and that dude is Tom Brady.
Let me ask you a question, and I don't think I totally prepped you for it, so catch you on the fly here. You kind of mentioned some of the needs we have, and we're getting ready to enter that second wave of free agency, not the marquee guys, but that next tier of playmakers. Is there a guy out there that you'd like to see the Bucks add? And who's kind of that bargain bin guy you think they could get and make an impact on this team? Is there a name out there you have?
I don't know if he's necessarily bargain bin because he got cut today, but I made a tweet. It's Matt Ioannidis, the interior defensive lineman who just got cut by the Commanders. That dude can rush the passer so well. Just like getting him next to Vita Vea eating double teams, creating holes for everybody, and then Matt Ioannidis just getting into the backfield, causing disruption along with the edge rushers would be a beautiful thing to see. Obviously, his contract was on the larger side for a rotational player in Washington because he's a good player, but he might try and command some bigger money. I don't really know. I think he's a bit on the older side right now, but if you know how it goes in the recent years with the Bucks. If the Bucks want a player and they want the Bucks, it's gonna work out. They'll figure it out some way, one way or the other. So,
especially those kind of older guys who are chasing that ring, they want that opportunity.
Yeah, I would definitely see a guy like Ioannidis, who's been a career player for that Washington franchise, kind of go to a team that he thinks could really make a run at the ring. And If he comes to Tampa Bay, he would be a big player in this defense, like a big one. So that's personally, that's my guy who I think my dream player for the Bucks right now. What about you? You got anybody?
Yeah, and actually, you and I are on a similar mindset here. Same position, same kind of impact. I'm thinking Akeem Hicks from Chicago.
That's another good one, yeah.
And he is a really good player. Definitely should not be bargain bin based on talent, but he's going to be, I think, 33 this year, and he hasn't played a full season since 2018. So you can get him for 1 year, $5 million. You can plug him next to Vita Vea, and if he's still playing at that level, which he's probably not what he was a few years ago, but he's still playing really well when he's on the field, I'll take that all day. Supplement that with a young defensive tackle in the draft, and I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, and that kind of like opens up flexibility in the draft. Like you said, you could, rather than maybe grab one in the second round, you can grab one in maybe the fourth who can be a rotational player with Hicks. Because like you said, you're probably going to want to put Hicks on a pitch count, on a snap count, because he's not been the sort of available player that he once was. But like you said, when he's on the field, it's Akeem Hicks. That dude's a monster. So that's another really good one. I know there's been some Tyrant Matthew rumors out there. What do you think about that?
I would love Tyrann Mathieu on this team.
Yeah.
I can't imagine where that money's coming from. I know the wallet is fully open and magic is happening, but if you're bringing in another Pro Bowl player for funny money that we're doing right now, I would love it. I'm not going to question Jason Light at this point. He can do anything, but I'd be surprised if it happened.
I would too. I was seeing everyone was like, what about Tyrann Mathieu? But he's still sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's definitely we'll take Tyrann Mathieu,
yeah.
We'll get Von Miller, we'll get JJ Watt,
just everyone.
Trade for Tyreek Hill, we'll get them all.
Yeah, dude. Again, would love Tyrann. Imagine Tyrann Mathieu and Winfield. Just that's an insane defensive secondary.
Todd Bowles would have a field day.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. But again, I feel like that's pretty unlikely to happen based off what I've been seeing and stuff like that. I know John Ledyard of Pewter Report put out a tweet earlier. Someone asked him about Tyrann Mathieu, and he was like, probably not. So,
we'll dare to dream.
No, yeah, it might be a pipe dream, but it's still a dream. So,
All right, we're getting close to the end of the show, but before we do, I want to have a little fun, non-Bucks related. Now, we are on the eve of March Madness, and obviously you follow college sports. You're Gator great.
Yes, sir.
Garrett Ballard.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to put your knowledge to the test here.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to give you a couple of teams in March Madness, and I want you to tell me what their mascot is.
Okay.
You think you're up to it?
I'm going to try my best, but March Madness might be the worst one for this because there's teams from every conference.
There are. Do you follow college basketball super closely? I don't even know.
Not a ton. I follow Florida, but
all right. So I'm gonna go for some of those smaller schools, but I'm gonna start you out with a big one. Number 1 overall seed, Gonzaga.
They're Bulldogs, right?
They are the Bulldogs. Very good. See, you got this.
I've in my defense, they've always been a 1 seed. So I know their logo is a bulldog, so it's just sticking out.
It's so funny. They're only basketball. I was talking to a woman at my work today, and she's like, "What the hell's Gonzaga?" I'm like, I think it's in California. All I know is they play basketball.
It's in Spokane, Washington.
Are they in Washington? See, I don't even know.
Spokane, Washington. Yeah.
All right, the next one, Providence, going to the other side of the country.
I know this is a mascot of a team in the Northeast. Are they the Friars?
The Friars in the clutch.
Let's go.
All right, they're getting harder from here.
I do have a friend that goes there, so.
Oh, there you go. See, you had the N.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you up with the 12 seed, Richmond.
Oh my gosh, I have a friend that goes there, and their logo is a spider.
Oh,
are they just the spiders?
They're the spiders, the scariest
mascot. Oh yeah.
Man, you've got friends all over the country here.
Yeah, man.
All right. So right now you're 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
I'm going to give you the hardest two right here. San Francisco.
Oh, see, I'm just trying to picture. I filled out my bracket earlier today. I'm trying to picture the logo, and I know their logo is just letters. So it
gives you nothing.
It gives me nothing. San Francisco. Oh, man. Bears.
It's not the Bears.
Oh, man.
His first miss. The Dons.
What is that?
I don't know. Like some kind of mafia boss.
Okay.
I have no idea what it is.
That's interesting.
It's probably not that, but
I wonder if it's like short for something.
Is it?
I have no idea. That's let's see. Because I feel that's like, that fans would be like, go Dons, like just a quick little.
Yeah, if anyone listening to this podcast can explain to us what the hell a Dons is, that would be great.
That'd be awesome. DM us, please. That's just Dons.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, well, learn something new every day.
All right. I got one more for you.
Right, let's go.
And to be totally honest, I had never even heard of this school until the brackets came out.
Okay.
And I lost it.
Oh, no.
Gotta go my schedule. All right. Number 14 seed, Longwood.
That's a fake school.
I can't tell you that you're wrong.
I
can't tell you that they have a mascot.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. What is Longwood?
There's a dirty joke in here somewhere.
I'm going to guess the Broncos.
Close. Their mascot is a horse. They are the Longwood Lancers.
Dang. So close, but different part of cavalry, I guess. Talk about the dude on the back of the horse.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what. I know they're in the Big South, so somewhere in the South, I'm guessing. But
I would have guessed like somewhere near Humboldt State in California, home of Alex Kappa. Longwood.
Might be close. Looking at some of the teams in their conference, they've got like Hampton and UNC Asheville. I have no idea what this school is.
Dude, where is this place? Here we are. They're in Farmville, Virginia.
Farmville? You could not pick a more middle of nowhere name.
It's not a real school.
That's like Courage the Cowardly Dog's town. Like, Nowheresville, Nebraska.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, you did pretty well. I mean,
3 for 5 is not bad. 3 for 5 is not bad.
3 out of 5. That's these get degrees.
Yeah. Man.
All right. I think that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Hope you guys had a lot of laughs. I know we had some laughs, which, first time, try not to be too nervous. Try not to trip over my words. I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, this is new for both of us. We're both kind of not used to hosting our own podcast. I know I've done it a little bit in the past. I think JT told me he's been a guest on a couple, but we're super excited to be doing this. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all keep coming back. As always, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.